Hello, welcome to my Messy Fingers. I'm Charlie. I am making another album for Scrap and Create. It is going to feature the Wizard Academy collection. I am working with 2 packets each of the 12 by 12. Now you can certainly make an 8 by 8 album, just shrink the dimensions by an inch. 2 pads of the patterns 12 by 12 and 2 pads of the paper pad 12 by 12. I love the colors. I love the images in this collection. So I'm hoping that I can do it some justice with what is here. When I make this album, I'm also using a glittery purple cardstock that I found at Joann's. It is called Elegance. It's a coordinations cardstock. When I put the paper onto this, I'm going to be doing a bead of glue underneath of this and then putting tape over that. This glitter, I'm concerned about the tape continuing to stick to it. So the bead of glue will filter in amongst the glitter and then it will adhere to the tape. So that is how I'm going to address that possible concern. Now my album that I'm making, I pre-made this. It's a 9 by 9. Let me double check my measurements. Yes, 9 by 9. And the video on how to make this album is included in the descriptions as a link. So on the outside of the album, let's just play with this. This is what I've pre-cut. I have everything ready to go. I wanted this image, if it's an academy, a Wizard Academy, I thought that the entrance hall would be a great image to put on the front of the album and then play around with that image on what I do to make it. I'm going to prop it up with a little bit of a glue bottle so it will stay flat. So I took from a different sheet the Wizard Academy emblem that's sitting here, and I cut it out and I mounted it on a little bit of chipboard. You can see that on the back. I have inked the edges using Distress Ink Hickory Smoke. You can use whatever distress ink you want, but I thought it would be best when we've got these gray colors. But as you can see, when you put the purple on this, it allows this paper to kind of pop and stand up. If I wasn't going to do that and I just put this down, then the paper kind of, in my opinion, kind of blahs. Now you can certainly leave the cardstock out if this is a look that you like. That is entirely your option, so just don't worry about that. But I really like this. Now you don't have to use glitter paper. You can use just a plain purple, a light purple, but I thought the glitter would just add a bit of an elegant standout touch on the outside of the paper. And then when it's on here, you can see the difference on how the paper now pops because it's not the grays and the blacks blending into the black. They're allowed to stand up on their own. This is going to fit right here, Wizard Academy, as the entrance. And then I started cutting out off the cut-apart sheets some additional images that I wanted to put on here in front of the entrance. It is Wizard Academy after all. This guy's going to sit right over here on the edge. I had a big bottle. Some of these, this one I did not do it because I kind of wanted it in the background a little bit. Some of these I did add a little additional chipboard element to it so that it would stand out in the photos. And then I have this one that'll be right behind the frog. It gets kind of lost. How about we put it right here in front of the books? That's a better idea. And then I have this additional little, I think I'll put him over here in this corner. He stands up a little bit. And then what I was given in this collection was this cute bag of trinkets. From my understanding, if you order the whole collection from Scrap and Create, they'll include these. They may not be the same trinkets that I get. They may be different trinkets, but out of that bag, oh, I'm gonna lose it. Oh, there were 2 small corner pieces that I'm going to use on here. There were some wheels that I'm going to put in here. And that's how I'm going to compose the front of the book. Let me know if you have any questions. The additional trinkets that came with this all will fit this collection quite nicely. Here's some bigger corner pieces. There's a key. That's a book. Here's a clock. There's a chest. That looks like little buildings. We have an owl. We have another clock. There is a feather. And then here is a dragon. Great little accents that we can put throughout. Okay, so this is going to be my back piece. This piece right here, out of one of the 12 by 12 collections. And this was the side of this piece. And I cut this out because I loved this image right here, and that will fit on my spine, just so. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's start assembling this. I'm gonna just kind of tuck that off to the side. We'll come back to the cards, the paper collection, but I'm going to play with the cardstock for now. I am going to use a 3/8 inch tape that was provided to me by Scrap and Create. This cardstock is a little heavier, and I think in part probably because of the extra layer of the glitter. So I'm going to use a little heavier tape to make sure that it stays down on the front of the album. Now, I want to let you know, going throughout the entire build, this is 9 by 9, this is 9 by 9. So my pieces that I fit, I do a dry measure throughout of these pieces, and I'll make my ticks, and then I'll cut. I'm not providing measurements because everyone cuts different. Their paper cutter cuts different. So I do an eyeball dry to fit. Now, when I give you the measurements for the cardstock that we're going to use to build our signatures to put on these pages, I will give you the measurements for that cardstock piece and where those score lines go. These measurements were provided in the album build itself. So if you have any questions, let me know. Okay, sorry for the interruption, but I've been questioned on that. And it's honestly is a ton of work to keep every measurement, and I'm not trying to sound unobliging. It's just, it is a ton of work to keep every single measurement and then write it out and put it on the description field. So I will do my best to give you the measurements that I can, and then everything else will be cut to fit. then I burnish. Now I'm going to take off just one of the inner pieces because I can sneak in and pull the other one out. I want to be able to do my dry fit and not commit yet to putting that down until I see where I'm at. I'm going, because I'm working black on black, I think I'm going to put a piece of paper under there so I can see what it is I'm doing. Did not want that to stick. So I make sure I'm eyeballing top to bottom what I want to see for the black accent going around the purple, and now I'll commit that, and I'll come in here and take this piece off. And I'll take these out. A little overhang, so I'm just going to tuck that back there. Okay. Now I'm going to do the spine next. I had to find my little fingertip piece. My finger, because it's my base, my support finger has gotten so dry over the years from the tape pulling up off my skin. The tape now irritates it, so I use a little fingertip. Keeps it from sticking to me. And then I'm going to tack just a little bit here, so again I can do a placement without the piece being committed until I can get it where I want it. Okay, if I eyeball this, this should be the fold in my spine, and I want to place this evenly. Oh, look at that. Yeah, I'll deal with it in a minute. I want to place it evenly in between each of those. I'm going to commit the middle piece. Oh, I forgot to take that off this way. It wasn't sticking. What a knucklehead. Okay, let's try this once again. And now what I'm going to do to make sure I got an even fit is I'm going to pick this up. I need to lift this just a smidgen. I'm going to hold it down here, and I want to pull it to my left just a little bit. That white strip is kind of changing my eyeball, but I can see over here is even. Okay, there we go. Now what I want to do is I've got some tape overhang right here. I want to use my very dry fingertip. I'll use a different finger to tuck that back in there. And give this a really, really good burnish. And now we're going to work on this back piece. I'm going to do a visual dry fit here to here to here. And I think, because I can't see that on the top very well, I'm going to put, okay. Dry fit looks good. I know you can see the letter B in here and you're wondering why I did that. It's just when I'm cutting the panels, because I'm doing a cut to fit rather than straight measurements. I want to make sure that what I cut to fit each panel goes back where it's supposed to go, because it can be off 1/16 of an inch. And I just want to make sure that I've got it in there the right way, on the right side. Whoops, I forgot something. Where, oh, there it is. Sorry, folks. Okay, so let's get this back in front of me here. And I'm going to do see, even top to bottom can be different. So I'm going to rotate this. Okay, I think this is the way it should go. I'll find out where the okay. Good burnish. Now I'm going to work forward because some of the elements on the front I don't want to get ruined while I'm messing around with placing everything. So again, I'm going to do an eyeball fit to cut to make sure that I'm balanced on all sides, and if I'm not, then I need to trim a little bit. Okay, looks good. Okay, so let's put some tape on this. I love this piece. I'll get to play with it on the inside of the album. If I thought that I wouldn't ruin a whole 12 by 12 sheet, there are some images on here that I just absolutely love. Fussy cut them out and play with them, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to ruin a 12 by 12, but some of these are just striking, like that one right there. Okay, now this becomes the tricky part here. Okay, where's my... is getting the glue around the edges. I apologize. I have to step away. I've got to let my dog out. Okay, I apologize. All right, now I am going to take these two pieces off. I generally only do one. But I'm going to put glue on them. And then but first I'm going to run a bead of glue right here along this edge so that it goes in between all the glitter. When I lay the tape down. Okay. I didn't do what I just did I? Yes, gosh bless it. Okay. I'm not worried about the paper coming off, it's just the page that the signature is going to go on. All right, I am going to line this up. And then I'm going to start to take away the tape. And I'll clean this up here in just a minute. I'm a little bit more concerned about getting to this. Come on. All right, let me burnish so that that glue dispenses, the tape goes down. And then I'm going to use a wet wipe to clean off my bone folder, and I'll go in here and wipe this up. Well, the glue is definitely getting down in the glitter. I was just concerned. I was talking to Julie at Scrap and Create, and she said they had done this to one of the albums and it separated because the tape just couldn't hold on to the glitter. So I am solving it by, like I said, by putting some glue down, and it will help. There we go. Now let's put I'm scooting everything all over the place. So I have a question for everybody. I purposely try and do my videos without any annoying background noises. But I'm wondering if it would be nice, because I do go silent every once in a while, if I had some soft music playing in the background to help fill out that dead space. So I'm just curious as to what your thoughts are, or do you find it distracting? Because that's one of the reasons why I like to have a quiet room, is because I find that those distractions take you away from what's going on the build. And I know when I watch videos and that happens, I've got to stop the video and back up and what did she say or what did he say? So I'm just curious as to your thoughts. So drop me an email at mymessyfingers55@gmail. Let me know what you think. I'm going to take the tape off the rest of this. Or leave a comment down below. I've been toying around with that thought, and I don't want to do it if it's going to be distracting. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'll get this better in view. I am matching here side to side, top to bottom. Let's scoot that down a little bit more because they should be even all the way around. And then I will, okay, let's get this back down here where it's supposed to be. I'm going to hold my finger there while I pull this into place. So I can pull that up just small, and that glue allowed me to replace this. There's another benefit of doing that. I don't know if you see it or not, but I really like the purple. It's allowing this paper to kind of pop. All right, now we're going to get to this big piece. And I'm going to go back to a 3/8 inch tape. Now everyone has their color of, their favorite color in the color palette, and you don't have to use purple. I mean, there are some beautiful light seafoam green. There's a little hints of an apricot color. I'm looking here at this here that you could pick and choose. I just like the color purple. I think it goes well with the style of paper. But like I demonstrated early on, you don't have to even use any cardstock at all. If you like that black background, by all means. Okay, so let's take these up. I'm going to put a bead of glue in there. And now I'm going to come in here and make sure my paper is right side up. I'm going to do my best. I need another piece of paper behind me so I can see the black. Come in here, eyeball it as best I can. I have too much over there, so I'm going to kind of tilt just a little bit. That glue is allowing me to play with this tape. I am amazed. Gosh, I think I just discovered a secret. But I don't think I'm going to be able to lay I'm going to have to put the glue here like I did on the back. You see how easy that lifted here in the back, and I've already got glue there. That addresses that concern, I think, that Julie was talking about on the paper, the tape not staying on the paper. Okay. Still have a wider margin there. Let me see. Is it going to let me? A little bit. I need to pull this. Thankfully, that hasn't quite committed itself. I don't know if I have. A little better, but I'm not taking it up again because I don't think it will tolerate it. Okay, now let's play with our elements. Let me get them all back here. I kind of squished them all away. My apologies. So the first thing I'm going to set, because it's going to take a little while for these to adhere, is I'm going to put the corner pieces on, and I'm going to use some glossy accents. If I can get it to come out of the Okay, here we go. Now how do I grab this and not get glue all over myself? Okay, just going to kind of put that in the corner, and then I'm going to encourage it to kind of stay there. Oh, if this is going to work. Oh, yay, I'll use both of them. Okay. The glossy accents is going to dry fairly quickly, but I need to give it some encouragement to stay in place, because there's just ever little tiny bits of metal that I'm making contact with on this glue. There's not enough flat surfaces underneath here. So I want to I'm just going to come right in here, put it in place. See, that popped up on me right there. Okay, cool. So those can sit there for just a minute or two until the glue and the metal piece kind of commit to each other. All right, now I know this is a pretty element, but what I want is this element so it kind of announces the paper style, what you're playing with here, or what someone might see when they get into the book. Now, I just took a cranky piece of cardstock, cut it to sort of fit all the images, and I'm just going to set this right here. Okay. I was not going to use those. All right, now I should be able to pull these off now, because that takes place kind of quickly. Now my broom, I wanted it to sit here, if I remember correctly. My owl was going to come in here just off to the edge. I had a stack of books. I had my toad. And then I had a tall bottle element next to there, and I had this here. It was decided to put this on the front, and then we're going to put this one over here. So some of these have been raised using some chipboard, some higher than others, because I really wanted to play with some depth and then leaving everything else flat so that it was an appearance of it kind of being behind things. And then we have our clock elements. So let's go ahead and put the rest of these down. Now there are all kinds of elements on that cutout sheet. This cutout sheet that you can use. They're all beautiful. I'm going to use quite a few of these as I go throughout the making of the album. So I'm going to lift these because the next piece I want to put down is this one. Right about there. And then this I'm going to put first. Just put the base below the books. This one, I'm going to come in over here. And then my toad, you can see all my pieces of chipboard in order to make sure that some of the more important elements were supported. Put my toad right there. And then over here, we will put down this element first. And I did line the broom. It was a bit of a challenge to do, but I managed to get a thin enough piece of chipboard to put down the stick because I really wanted this to come up off the page so that it looked like it was really standing there in the corner. And then this one here just down below it. Now, I'm going to need the glossy accents because these metal gears don't work real well with any other glue that I find. I shouldn't have set that up. I should have left it on its side. There we go. I'm going to put that right behind the toad. Now this is where I end up changing my mind. Where did I put things? Where do I want things? What does it look like? I don't remember what I did beforehand, but we'll play around with it until we get where it looks okay. I do, so let me see. I want these on the front, but I'm trying to figure out that looked too much. that's down already. Impressive. Let me see here. I apologize. I usually have this all sorted out before I don't know if that's too much with this element here. Huh, that doesn't look too bad. Hide it back behind the broom. I don't know if you have that where you go and play with an element and then you're going, okay, I don't remember where I put it, but let me just snoop around and see what it's gonna look like if I put it someplace else. I kind of like that, so it's still visible, it's there, it's an accented element. And I think I'm gonna put it here on this side. Because if I put it in the middle, it's gonna be too much in here and I don't wanna do that. I will just accent it over here on the side. Okay, so all right, so here is your outside build for Wizard Academy. I hope you approve. I might look for some chess pieces to build these up, we'll see. But there you have it. So your next build will be for the inside panel, and I'll see you then.